Our story begins with a lady running away from something at night. We neither see what she's running from nor what happens to her. It is a complete mystery meant to draw us in. Then we see one of our protagonists lying in bed. She is Emily, chatting with her friends online. One of them shows her a music video. The one named Tyler shows a strange photo he found, but Emily shares one she considers even stranger. A second photo from her is more frightening than weird. During the opening credits, we see some unsettling things like a disconnected doll head opening its eyes. Afterward, we observe the inside of a house and how many ruined dolls lie on the shelves. A girl sits somewhere, painting a picture of 5 people forming a circle by holding hands. The scene changes to Emily arriving at her workplace. It is the Council on Aging. She starts talking to an elder man in a wheelchair named Gary, but he does not respond. Soon he awakens, telling Emily to watch her step. She reminds him he recently got out of surgery, therefore he needs to be in bed. So she starts wheeling him there. Meanwhile, we see her friends sitting in the car outside. The one named Sean complains about Emily taking a long time. There are 4 of them, playing around and teasing each other the way friends usually do. Sean asks Tyler if the latter is getting back with Emily. Tyler does not know because they are figuring things out. Then Emily comes out to join her friends. Since all of them are now together, the group starts heading somewhere. Unwinding on their initial step, the lady named Amanda starts engaging in a recreational. We learn she just got out of rehab. She wants to share it with Emily, yet the latter passes on it. The one near her, Hank, takes the substance. At night, they arrive at a restaurant right as the last worker is closing it, asking her if they can eat quickly. Amanda gets rejected. At least the woman isn't mean about it. She even tells them of another place they can go to. The downside is that the place is fast food. After the lady leaves, Emily and Amanda see a little girl with a doll crying behind a vehicle. Emily asks her where her parents are. The girl says she can't find her grandfather. She wants to go home, but it's too far to walk by herself. Once she introduces herself as Lucy, Emily proposes to call her parents. The problem with this is that her parents received a new cell phone, meaning Lucy does not know the number. Sean wants to drop off the girl at the nearest police station to rid themselves of this uncomfortable responsibility. Due to this, Emily questions Amanda if she wants to have children with him. When Lucy says she wants to go home, Emily asks her where she lives. The next scene shows all of them riding together. Lucy informs Emily that her doll's name is Jade. After Lucy gives a compliment to Emily's appearance, she says Jade tells her Amanda is also pretty. Eventually, they arrive at a big house. They exit the vehicle to look at it and Amanda finds it creepy. Then, Emily walks with Lucy into the girl's house. Because it is empty, Emily asks where her parents are. They are probably looking for her, Lucy replies. Of all things, Lucy wants to show Emily her room for no apparent reason. As they walk through the house, the atmosphere is certainly what Amanda has stated, creepy. Externally, we briefly observe a shadow move behind a window. However, that isn't the only unsettling thing in the house. We also see dolls laid out on a bed and one of them has a part of its face missing. Soon Lucy takes her new friend into this room. Once she asks the girl what happened to the dolls, Lucy says she found them in such a state. Ominous sounds are heard after they leave the room. Subsequently, Sean says the girl will be fine, but Emily says they aren't going to leave her like this all alone. Agreeing with the young lady, Tyler thinks it's best to wait for Lucy's parents to arrive. This makes Sean complain that they are missing the chili peppers. In a short time, a truck arrives and Lucy runs to it. A woman comes out to hug the girl, saying she was worried about her. Then a man comes out to look suspiciously at the group of 5 friends. Lucy's mother wants to know who they are. Tyler stutters trying to answer her, yet the woman acts defensively, not giving him a chance. Emily is the one who tells the concerned mom where they found her daughter. With that, the woman thanks them for bringing Lucy back. She introduces herself as Val and her husband as Wayne. After Val leaves with Lucy, Wayne asks the gang if they are hungry because he has steaks. The man is accommodating towards them, even offering beers. In the next scene, they all sit outside in a circle while talking. Wayne says they owned a daycare center in the city. One night, tragedy struck in the form of someone setting the place on fire. Val adds that this made their entire life go south. All Tyler can say is the world is a crazy place. Soon Amanda feels the need to tell Emily she thinks Wayne is attractive for an older man. Inside the house, Lucy turns in her bed somewhat uneasily. Our attention is momentarily brought to the doll with the partially missing face. Then several frightening sounds awaken Lucy and she sits up in her bed. We observe parts of dolls lying on the floor. Back to the others. There is a baby radio near the parents, which starts to emit Lucy's voice. They all get to hear her tell someone to not be mad at her. Plus, whoever she is talking to cannot run away without legs. This prompts Val to laugh, so she goes to check on her daughter. Getting to her, she asks Lucy why she is still awake. Her dolls were fighting, is the girl's response. Outside, the gang hears over the radio how Lucy calls Emily a nice lady and wishes she would stay with them. On a completely different topic, Amanda says she has seen the dark spirit world, but Sean mocks her by acting goofy. Hank adds more to the goofing around by asking her if that's how she ended up in the loony bin. Sean corrects him, saying she was in rehab. Shortly after, Val returns with more beers. Wayne says they shouldn't leave their daughter with her grandfather anymore, for he is too old. Val does not want them to talk about this. Then they all hear unsettling noises and Emily asks if they have animals. Wayne replies it could be a critter. However, it sounded like something more menacing. As Val is cutting wood for the fire, she accidentally cuts Inspecting the wound, Emily says she can heal it if she has access to a first aid kit. Following this incident, Val gets carried into a car. She says the hospital is far away. It's about 1.5 hours to drive there. Lucy also gets brought out, but she does not want to go to the hospital. She asks to stay home with Emily, something her father allows. Before her parents ride off, Lucy whispers a secret to her dad. Afterward, Emily lies in bed with the little girl, reading her a bedtime story. Once she finishes, Lucy wants her to read it again. Therefore, Emily is kind enough to obey the girl's desire. Switching to the rest of the group, we see them watching television. Hank shares some strange information with them. He looked around the whole house and found no phones anywhere. Soon Amanda goes outside with Sean to engage in The lady who was in rehab can't seem to get enough. Sean expresses his gladness for her being there with him. Amanda says when the former perceived her spirit. She adds that the woman has bad energy. Interestingly, she says it like she knows it. This topic is something Sean doesn't want to talk about, yet his girlfriend tells him it's real. He would rather talk about anything else, and he proves it by asking how her parents are. They are losers, Amanda says. He tries to kiss her, but she asks why he didn't visit her in rehab. School and work are the reasons he gives. It does not seem good enough because she behaves in a disappointed manner. Shifting back to Emily and Lucy, the former finishes reading the story a second time. Lucy, however, is not tired. She wants to go outside to play with her friends. This causes Emily to ask what friends she's talking about. The ones her parents watch, is what Lucy says. Due to it being a late hour, Emily wants her to stay in bed. Once she leaves the girl's room, she hears a frightening sound, which makes her turn around. She hears distant laughter too. Since Emily can't do anything about it, she joins Tyler on the couch to watch television. Then Tyler says he's going to his car with Hank, and Amanda returns to sit with Emily. Suddenly, the table near them moves by itself. This scares Amanda to the point that she instantly says she can't deal with this. At this moment, Tyler shows up with Sean to learn what happened. The latter thinks it's cool, the opposite of what his girlfriend thinks. She wants to leave this place. Soon we see Hank moving the table with a string attached to it. What they thought was a paranormal occurrence was actually a practical joke played on the ladies. Of course, they get mad and leave. Amanda is now alone in a washroom, finding 2 bottles of pills there. At first, she hesitates to take them, but she gives in to her weakness by putting 1 bottle in her bag. Entering another room, Amanda sees a door that she opens completely. Suddenly, a figure made of smoke walks toward her, scaring the lady to the floor. It evaporates in less than 1 second before entering her mouth. After that, Tyler is apologizing to Emily for how they scared her. His excuse is that he was intoxicated and wants to do something good for her. Then the lights go out for a short time. We witness a shadow move behind the couch. The third unusual factor is a certain sound taking place, which Emily mentions. When Sean mocks her about it, Tyler stands up to him. Sean stands up too in response. However, it is Emily's tough behavior that gets Sean to sit down. He doesn't stay seated for long due to his decision to look for Amanda. Emily goes with Tyler into Lucy's room to check on her. Yet the girl is making their night difficult by not being there. Her window is open, meaning one thing. Soon the window shuts to startle the duo. Sean comes to them and expresses his disinterest in searching for Lucy. Tyler opposes him by firmly saying they are going to do what Sean does not want to. So the group goes outside to look for Lucy, where Sean says the girl is becoming a nightmare. He might be right. Following this, our attention gets brought to a child's painting inside the house of 5 people holding hands. It is very likely symbolizing our protagonists. Searching alone, Emily finds dolls on the ground that disturb her because some of them are simple. Our view travels up to a window and we see someone behind it. Switching to Sean, he encounters something coming out of the darkness. It prompts him to run away out of fear. But a few barely seen children have a rope set up to make him trip over it. They sit there, chanting in the darkness to take the atmosphere into chilling territory. Then Sean returns to the group, urging them to leave. He does not know how to explain what he observed. All he knows is that it came at him. Once Emily reminds him of Lucy, he continues with his mindset of dismissing her as unimportant. He goes inside the house to look for Amanda. He finds her sitting on the floor, out of her mind. Trying to get her attention does not work, so he calls his friends for help. Emily checks Amanda's pulse and informs them she did not get this way from smoking. Her heart rate is too low for that to be the case. Tyler checks her purse to find the pills she stole. He gives them to Emily, who reads what they are. The pills are those given to cancer patients to lessen the pain. Subsequently, they get Amanda into a car to take her to a hospital. Sean starts driving there with Hank. While they do, smoke exits Amanda's mouth. To make matters worse, Lucy gets into the middle of the road, causing Sean to swerve. This results in an accident that seems fatal for Sean. Amanda looks at him, extremely worried. Hank urges the devastated lady to take her eyes off her deceased boyfriend. He wants her to go back to the house to call for help because he is stuck. At this point, Amanda says something is jumping from one of them to the other. Getting angry, Hank says this isn't the time for one of her visions sparked by He repeats what he wants her to do. Thus, she starts running. Eventually, Hank manages to get himself unstuck. As Amanda is running, she falls into a hole. There, she sees a few and screams in fear. Now Hank runs too, but he has to stop due to hearing ominous sounds. Someone is there for him to see, coming out of the darkness. Then he rushes back to the house to give his friends the awful news that Sean has perished. Of course, they have a hard time believing him, which forces Hank to say how a branch went through their poor friend. He also says someone who looked like Lucy stood on the road that caused the accident. Therefore, he urges them to leave this place just like Sean did when he was alive. He collects a shotgun and Tyler wants him to put it down. Since he does not, Tyler convinces the terrified guy to give the weapon to him. As he is about to load it with shells, they all hear the menacing sounds coming from an unknown source. If it were only the sounds they had to deal with, their situation may have been doable. Yet the walls start forming cracks and a radio turns on somewhere to keep adding to the fear. They enter Lucy's room to learn it's her radio. The moment Tyler turns it off, the door shuts behind them. This scares Hank to the point of him taking the shotgun away from Tyler to fire at the door. He gets scolded for his reckless action because Lucy could have been behind the door. Afterward, Tyler opens the door and nothing is there to pose a threat. So the trio returns downstairs, where they see a door shaking. Tyler yells out to whoever is doing it should identify themselves. He threatens to shoot if the shaking does not stop. It doesn't take long for the door to open and a shadow flies out. Trying to shoot it several times, Tyler ends up shooting Hank. It was unwise of him to try to shoot a shadow in the first place. Due to Hank's injury, Emily wants to go out there, but Tyler does not let her. Hank urges one of them to go, for he is in dire need of help. This prompts Tyler to venture out there with the shotgun. Outside, he hears menacing sounds and sees a shadow moving. Then, a little girl who might be Lucy runs behind him to tell him how stupid he is. Upon turning around, he sees no one there. All he hears are the girl's mean echoing words. He gets scared and starts running. After he calls out to Amanda, we see her trying to climb out of the hole she fell inside. Not being able to, she screams for help. Soon, Tyler locates her to offer his helping hand. As he is pulling her out, a hatchet flies into the poor lady's head, keeping her there. Tyler turns around to see Val is there. She says something about someone wanting to use her and everyone else. Switching to the house, Emily tells Hank it may be best for her to go get help. He does not disagree with this decision. Back to Tyler, Val says most people never figure out what is going on. She is referring to the many people they duped to their demise. Wayne is also there and his wife gives him a knife. The armed man starts coming to Tyler, who gets to punch the wicked man in the face. Alas, Wayne does something much worse by stabbing Tyler. He follows this by kicking him down into the hole to have Tyler join the recently deceased Amanda. Once the couple starts walking away, Val actually limps from her injury, proving they at least were not faking that. We now see Emily walking outside. The couple rides behind her in their truck and she gets in. When she tells them Sean has become deceased, she cries. After they arrive back at the house, Emily rushes to check on Hank. To her dismay, he is no longer alive. The vile couple acts like they don't understand what is going on. Then Wayne goes into another room to grab a box. He opens it to take out a few candles. Lighting them makes a shadow emerge from the box, some of which seems to enter Wayne. In a short time, he comes to the ladies, telling Emily that Lucy was right. Emily has the prettiest eyes. She considers it an inappropriate statement, especially given their situation. The weirdness does not end there because he holds her face in his hands. She angrily tells him to get off of her before running. Unfortunately, Wayne catches her and holds her in a headlock. The poor lady seems to lose consciousness from this. Val guesses that Emily could be faking it. Indeed she is, and she tries to run away again. But just like with her first attempt, Wayne catches her. He takes Emily to their bed, where the couple starts handling her. While they do, we see Hank approaching Val to cut her with a knife. This is one victory for our heroes. Wayne cannot believe what he's seeing. Emily uses this time to break a fragile item over his head. She doesn't even bother to come to Hank as she runs outside to enter the truck. Yet he probably used his final amount of energy to take Val's life. Emily exits the truck the moment she sees Wayne exit the house. There are no keys there, so she has to find another way out. She runs until she comes to the hole where Amanda lies with Tyler. Emily wants to cry due to witnessing the horrible sight, but she knows she must maintain her focus during this chaotic time. Thus, she keeps running. Eventually, she finds a different house and enters it. In there, she moves around slowly to observe the place. She turns around and gets greeted by Wayne knocking her out with a punch. Then, he puts her on a bed, where he starts saying that someone first appeared to him on the night of a fire. We find out Lucy was dropped into the unspecified being gave him the option of saving her, but Wayne would have to build an army of. Wayne was chosen and all the Emily saw belonged to the being. Wayne created them with different women. While the vile man has his back to our heroine, she awakens prior to putting some alcohol in her mouth from the bottle beside her. Turning back around to her with a lit candle, Wayne gets sprayed on by the alcohol from Emily's mouth. This causes the fire on the candle to spread onto him. Since that isn't enough, she throws the bottle of alcohol near him to ignite even more. He spins around in pain, while Emily makes her escape. She runs out and gets into the truck with the keys this time. Now, the problem is getting the vehicle to start. In the meantime, we see many of the children walking somewhere in unsettling unison. Thankfully, Emily starts the truck to begin driving. At that moment, a monster exits the deceased Wayne. What it is or what it's after, we will never learn. During daylight, Emily continues to drive the truck. Who knows what she's thinking regarding all this chaos she was unfortunate to get tangled into. None of her friends survived, and she remains ignorant of the entire situation. It's uncertain how much longer she has left to live because we see Lucy riding in the back of the truck. In the final moment, we observe another child's painting of a truck with a girl inside that resembles Lucy.